Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I made a video, and today I've actually got some parts to install. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so got some things here that I ordered from SubiSpeed. So what these are is the S4 style fog light bezels. Here is the fuse connector. So we got the connectors there. And this one's got two connectors on it, one for the low beam, one for the high beam, so that the lights are always on if I want them to be, and in my case that's what I'm going to do. So got that, and here's one of the bezels. So here's that. It's all nice and shiny. And here's some of the wiring that I'll need for the install. And the extension to go from the driver to the passenger side, and the DRL module, and they also gave me some zip ties and looks like some line connectors to use on the install. And finally, here's the other bezel. So it's all nice and shiny. Cool. So another thing I got is the JDM style brake light. So I got the blacked out one. This one I'm actually not going to be installing in this video. I'm going to be doing that in a future video, because from what I've seen it's kind of a pain in the butt to install. So I do have that, that's coming. And the last thing I've got here is the Vortex generator. So I'm probably going to be installing this today as well. All right, so let's get on with the install. Okay, so where I'm going to be hooking this up, this is the 30 amp for the low beams and the 15 amp for the high beams. So I'm actually going to be tapping into both of these guys. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the fuse that's down here into these little empty spots on each one of these guys. One for the lows and one for the highs. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Use the puller. I'll do the 15 first. Plug this guy. Right in there. Plug that guy in there. Just like that. And this one. Plugs in there. Puller again. Let's do the 30. Pull it back. And we'll plug this into the other one. like that. Plug this guy. Guess back in line. It's kind of a tight fit, but it'll go. Okay, so if you have the quick connect adapter, once you get all that hooked up, you're gonna have this little piece here on the end. And this is what you're actually gonna use to hook the wiring into the DRL module. So first thing you gotta do is pop that out. This is what you're gonna crimp this onto the red wire. Okay, so here we have our actual wiring harness. And if we weren't using the quick connect that allowed us to connect to both, we would have put this into one or the other of the fuses under the hood. But since I use the quick connector, what I'm actually gonna have to do is cut this red wire and put this guy on there, and that's how I'm gonna hook it up. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, and I'm just gonna strip off the end of this wire. Like that. Might need to take off a little bit more. All right, so let's put this guy in here. Let's crimp him down. It's pretty solid. Okay, so this guy gets plugged into here. I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay, so that's the red wire. And the black wire goes to the battery, the negative on the battery. Okay, so in order to attach this to the negative battery terminal, we're actually gonna need a 10mm wrench to get this guy undone. We don't have to take him all the way off, we just need to loosen it enough so that we can stick this guy in there, like that, nice and snug. Go ahead and tighten them back up. Make sure it stays firmly planted. All right, and that's that. Now, one more thing you guys are gonna notice is that there's a white wire. And this you hook to anything, any light that when you turn that light on, it will actually shut these lights off. So in my case, I'm actually not gonna do that because I want them always on, but if you wanted this to turn off when your high beams are turned on, then you would hook them into your high beams. And as soon as your high beams come on, it'll turn the others off. But I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna tape this up. Okay. So now this is all hooked up. I'll hook it here to my DRL module. Plug it in like that. And then these go to the driver and passenger side lights. So what I want to do with these is I actually want to hook up the lights first to make sure that they work before I actually go through the trouble of running the wires and all that. I always find it's a good practice to make sure all this stuff works before you go through the labor of and time of running the wires, and then you find out it doesn't work later. So let's go ahead and do that. First off, I'm going to hook up the driver's side one. Okay, I'm not going to screw this down yet. I'm just going to hook this up for now. Now the passenger side one. Okay, let's see if they work. Look at that. Beautiful. And they stay on with the high beams, so we're good. Now I'm going to go start running the wires. There we go. This just pops out by just pulling right there. Just give it some force and it comes right out. Proving a little bit difficult to actually grab the wire. I can see it, but I can't get to it. So what I'm going to do is actually use a piece of twine. I'm going to feed this through from this side, pull it up through the top, tie it off, and pull it back through. It's a trick I've used a lot of times running things. You can use rope, string, twine, whatever you happen to have around the house. Got that run through. Now on to the other side. Let's test them out and see how they look. And then I'll clean up the wiring. That looks great. I'm super happy with that. Turn the fog lights on real quick. Okay. Well, I know what I want my next mod to be. I want the fog lights to match the color temperature of the rest of the lights, so definitely going to look into ordering a replacement set of those. But otherwise, I think they look pretty good. Okay, so now all I got left to do is just secure the wiring, and this job is done. Alright, so it's not the cleanest wiring job I've ever done, but I'm okay with it for now. You always want to make sure that you have your wires as tight as possible so that they don't move around like this. This section back here I'm not really happy with. I'm probably going to get some of this insulated tubing like this stuff here to go around it, just because I'm not comfortable with this free floating like that. So I don't have any of that right now though, so for now this job is done. Let's move on to the Vortex generator install. It's on here just a sort of a dry fit. I'm not 100% happy having it scooted all the way up like this. I think I'd rather have it back here, even though that means there's going to be a little gap here. But it is the right width though, because there's two of these. There's one of these that is skinnier in this gap than the other. So I did get the right one. But yeah, I think I want it further back like this versus slid all the way forward, because it doesn't eat up anyways when you scoot it all the way forward. So I think I'm just going to align it with the back of the roof. Alright, so unfortunately my battery died during the installation, but I've got it installed. It was pretty easy to install. You just prep the surface, clean it with some rubbing alcohol or something just to get all the dirt off, and then set it down where you want it, peel the strips off, and you're done. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty secure. I decided also to compromise, and since I have a little bit of a space here, I decided to go with a little bit of space here at the back as well, instead of going right to the back, and it makes this gap look a little bit better too. But yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. So this is the OEM Vortex generator. Alright guys, so that's going to about do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it looks really good, and I'm definitely itching now to get those new fog lights. So I hope you guys enjoyed the install process. Hope it helped you. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.